can be. We are both live on Facebook and YouTube. Malang, you can use the restroom and go back to your room. I have a show.
Ashana celebrate, Kuryom Kalina celebrate. Ashana celebrate, Kuryom Kalina celebrate. You mother in Melissa, we are Permil Kabir. You mother Melissa, we are Permil Kabir. Nandi Lado, Benadi Lumoma, Benadi Market, Benadi Onanga. Kule Sijino Nandi Kuku, Ashana celebrate. Kuryom Kalina celebrate. Ashana celebrate. Kuryom Kalina celebrate.
Lojing, you are live.
Oh, it's just two of us. What the rest?
Ashana celebrate. Kuryom Kalina celebrate. Ashana celebrate.
Naponi will be joining us shortly.
Okay, that sounds good.
Hello.
Hello, Rose. How are you?
Hello.
If you are busy, we can excuse you. Do you hear me?
Oh, yeah, I can hear you.
Yeah, just take care of the responsibility right now. We
Going to be on speaker.
we
Can you hear? That's my noise.
Butazano?
Kita nak cakap para min mahal deh.
Kalas okay.
Okay, Mahal calm, Hassan.
Naponi, you are live.
You guys, this thing is like terrible.
How are you?
I'm well. How are you? I only got 15. I got 20
I ana
minutes.
gasuma so ana guy no interview studio.
Who, me?
No, we see you. We see you.
Okay.
Ana Shaib, Naponi.
It mata log multiple times. Ya muskila.
Kalau sana be I took time off and I log out.
Okay.
Log out and come back.
Okay, kita nak bicara butane. Kan mai sakal kalas na de kafal mana.
Maave muskila.
Can I do it through messenger? Mana ina kamu through messenger?
You can do it. I just send you a link through messenger.
Okay, yeah. Let me try again.
Okay.
Okay.
Sorry guys, we are having some technical issues here.
Yeah, take your time. These things are not always. You can plan, but some disturbances will come around.
I only got like 20 minutes with you though. I got to go to work.
No problem. You will be all right.
You work on Sundays, and today's Easter. Oh, you are working where? Are you a nurse?
I'm a healthcare provider.
Oh yeah, okay. They're the same. Yeah, that's why they don't have they don't have holidays. This is the time
No,
you are most needed, especially
I'm
do.
not. I don't have holiday.
Oh, I understand.
Mm. Is that a white hair on your head? You look nice.
Oh, oh,
There
me?
is Rose. Do you hear me now?
Yeah, my hair.
Yes.
They look.
Excellent. Let me take. Okay. Ladies and gentlemen, my name is Samuel Siricho. Thank you for joining us. It is a blessing to be alive, especially as people are celebrating Easter. Happy Easter to all of you, my guests. I have Rose Key from Brisbane, I believe, Australia. And then I have here with me Naponi Joyce from Perth, Australia. And I have here Loriho Lojing uh, from Lincoln, Nebraska in the USA. Uh, we are going to discuss a number of things. This show is called South Sudan, the future of South Sudan. The future of South Sudan uh, include a number of things. The building of the nation, the structure of the nation, the economic issues, and a number of things. The civil society is structure in the country, and it does include uh, how we can or how the system in South Sudan can work in order to bring us together as a nation. It is one uh, of the important issues we as South Sudanese can discuss and uh, and just share our views. Uh, it is it is not something we can take as a privilege. This thing have been South Sudan. If you reflect to history, is we can blame the British in part in these issues we are having today. The students of history can tell you that. But anyway, the show is this show we create at LNet, which is Lokoya Net, is gonna be focusing on the issues related to the situations or other issues in South Sudan. We have a problem. We have many problems. We have economic problems. We have military problems. We have a number of problems. And one of the problems we are going to discuss today, one of the issues, is the issues of cattle. We have the issues of cattle, I believe, all over South Sudan. It's not only in Equatoria, it's not only Western Equatoria, it's not in Western Bahar al Ghazal only, but it is all over within Jongole. It's an issue within everywhere. But we are going to take a look at that. But before we could go forward, I would like to wish everyone who is a Christian a happy Easter. And please, happy Easter to each one of you. And I believe Ruski is having that wonderful time at her house or somewhere else.
She has visitors. She has visitors. Yeah.
So we invited 4 guests, and one of them is missing because of Easter. Chirilo Modi is not here because of Easter. And so he's taking time for that. And I'm sorry. And I believe Naponi Joyce The schedule is not going right with her too. And everybody, even myself, my schedule, I just discovered. So, excuse me. I just discovered that there will be some celebrations. We have a marriage going on in Dallas, and I couldn't attend because of this program. But anyway, uh, to begin with, we let us take a look at the issue of uh, cattle herders in South Sudan. Specifically, we are going to begin uh, to analyze the situation in Equatoria. We do have seen some images. We have seen some images. We have seen some news. We have seen everything. Of course, most of us here on this, most of my guests here are not within South Sudan. They are all in diaspora. I have two guests here, Miss Ruski and Miss Nafoni. Uh, and Mr. Lojing, all are in foreign countries, but we are following the situations in South Sudan. So we are going to take a look at that.
Mm-hmm.
So, Miss Naponi Joyce, please
Mm-hmm.
share with me what do you think of the situation of cattle herders in Equatoria? We have seen images from Magui. We have seen images from Aru Junction. We have seen people have been displaced in Gumbo, and we have witnessed all these things. And of course, in Ye area, Lanya, we have seen
Mm-hmm.
recently there are some crises about the cattle herders. What do you think? How can we resolve this kind of situation? Well, can you share your views?
Oh, thanks, Samuel. Thanks for inviting me. I know I didn't have much time to stay. Thank you, and I'm happy Easter to you as well. Um, the situations of kettles. The thing is, in my idea or what I'm thinking is that for us to tackle the issue of the kettles in particularly in Equatorial region, we can't really be able to do it without the government involvement, and that seems to be an issue because what we're doing is like we are just become like people who are just bagging, and then there's no solution into it because the power is above us, and I don't know, I'm not blaming anybody here, but the government of South Sudan, it's not only one tribe. There are so many tribes involved in that government. And every times we observe and we seen and we heard the cattle are moving around the regions of Equatorians, and they have been valued more than human being, and the government never condemn nothing. Even those who are in the government are Equatorians themselves. I don't know whether people that in the government that are Equatorian, they're scared for themselves, but I rather being killed saying the truth than just sugarcoating and letting my people being killed. Because if I'm in the government, I need to have a voice to say what is happening in my region. I don't like it. Whether the money, despite the amount of money that that is given to me, I have to say no. What is happening is not, it's not appropriate for my people, because most of Equatorian villages are invited with these kettles. Um, People are running. Citizens are leaving their village, and Equatorian people are living in their village depend on farming and agriculture. So for these cattle to be moving around like that without the control, even in the city itself, Juba itself, I saw one of the image one day, the cattle just moving around. I haven't seen that in any country apart from my own South Sudan that is happening there. So it's really it's something that it's like 4 years now. It's going to 3 or 2 years that those kettles been valued more than human beings, especially particularly Equatorian people, and nobody from the government, even the president himself, didn't even say nothing about it or condemn one area or another. So, in my opinion, um, which I know people might disagree, that because I'm not even in South Sudan, I don't even know what is really happening on the ground. But the technology, thank God for technology, bring us all together, come close. I think instead of the Equatorian running to Uganda's or the neighbor's country, I think we should retaliate back because I think the motive is like we chase them away and then we own the country. Excuse me for saying that. I'm not against any tribe here, but I'm just saying my opinion. But the more we keep running, the more our places are taken, which is really confronting. Some people will say, "Oh, you guys outside the country, you're sending money. You guys are the one starting this fight and this and that." But if we don't do that, then who is going to do it? Are we going to keep running to Uganda or Kenya and all these countries and have no identity in South Sudan or places? Or we better just fight back and then that's the way to go because nobody, even the government itself, doesn't want to listen to the voices of citizens. I will leave it that day for now. Thank you.
Thank you, Rose. I think Navoni,
Joyce.
excuse me, Joyce Navoni Joyce. The the situation is a little bit tense, but I am
Mm-hmm.
glad that you share your views, and I believe our people, the South Sudanese, will take a look at that, and they will they will decide. The country belong to all South Sudanese, and
Mm-hmm.
I think the problem is how these cattle herders can be is structured in the country. You know, we live in the
Mm-hmm.
Western countries. You know how the farmers are living and
Mm-hmm.
how they get it, their cattle and stuff. But we will discuss maybe more about that in other programs, next coming programs, because of we are dealing with Easter, and I believe you are heading to work. That's why you are in the vehicle. So we would like to excuse. We would like to excuse.
Well, I hope I don't want anyone mistaken me, but that's my feelings, and we are
Yes,
allowed to
please.
express
We would
our
like to.
feelings.
Yes, we would like to excuse you. You have feel free to go. And
Okay.
I will be with Mr. Lojing here and Miss Key. And thank
Yeah,
you so
I
much.
will hear their opinion. I will hear their opinion. I
Okay,
still got
okay,
10 minutes here.
okay, very good. Uh, Mr. Lojing, I think you are a veteran.
Mhm.
I would not consider you like any other ordinary citizen, but you're a politician in your DNA. So there is
Uh,
politics in your DNA. How would you advise the president to resolve the the situation of cattle herders in South Sudan?
yeah, thank you for having me, and I say happy Easter for everybody in the show. Samuel, you see, the issue of cattle is not a new thing. You know, back in the 80s, when when the decentralized system was imposed by Nimeri, those those cattle used to roam about the airport. You see, but because of the presence of strong central government, you know, that issue was able to be addressed. Now, the topic we're discussing is a broad topic, and it's good that you squeeze it to to like a, to the cattle issues in South Sudan. This is a tiny fraction of the failed state that South Sudan is facing. You know, the country is totally, it is in an inverted system, upside down. You see, why upside down? You will see most of the institutions in South Sudan, you will see the boss, because of having a gun, is illiterate. And his secretary is a well-educated person. And then he will pass decisions to be, to be executed by this well-educated person, which is most in the cases are Equatorians, because the literacy rate in Equatoria is higher in any other, compared to any other region. You see, and the second issue that we need to understand is that, you see, these cattle herders control one of the most powerful institutions in the country. They are hailed from Bo, the place where the leader of the SPLM hailed from. They control the military, institutions in the country. So you will see, if you can just observe, all over Equatoria, those people are mostly from Bo. Why the government decisions or Salva Kiir decision of 2015 was not executed? Is why? Because people are so powerful, and based on the system of clientelism and patronage, you know, is you stay, which dictates that you stay in power, but I have to protect you. I bring you to share the government. Make sure you protect me. This is how the system in South Sudan works. You see?
Okay.
So here, this thing is going to continue for a while.
Okay,
Unless,
Mr. Rojing, my question was, I'm glad you air some of your views, but my question was, how would you advise the president to resolve this situation? That's the question.
okay, my question here, you see, I can't really give any solution or any advice to the president of South Sudan. This man is, you see, is ruling this country by the iron fist. He has a lot of good advisors, including Equatorians, that are there. Why he don't listen to those people? You see,
Do you think those advisors are really having their own
actually,
independent?
my advice will not work to tell Salva Kiir what to do. Everything is now possible. We're in a modern world, the diffusion of technology in terms of farming is available. He can send these people, to be trained, and then how to, to manage farming in a modern way that people can benefit from, from the milk, healthy meat. But when you see these cattle, you see the skeletons. The nutrients they're eating cannot help. They are so weak because they're moving from here to here looking for grassland.
Thank you, sir. Thank
So
you,
that
Mr.
is what
Rojing.
I can just end up here. This thing will not resolve until this government is totally toppled. And then it will bring a system that will come and really, use the natural resources of South Sudan in efficient and sustainable way. This is what I can say. We topple the government, and then we now organize a country in a civilized way to bring back civilization into the country. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Any views aired by any guest in this show represent the guest's own opinion. That's my. I would like to let people know that any views here is anybody is independent to say anything, and it is acceptable to us, but it may not be acceptable to other viewers. So just understand that that's our philosophy. We accept any views in this show, any political views, any political opinions, but we don't side with any political party. All right. Thank you so much. Now we come to Miss Roski. Roski is one of the consultant, uh, or I would say an advocate of civil society engagement, and she's very supportive to many of the people underground. Nobody knows, but she does a lot of work, and I always attend her. So sometimes I share her stuff a lot of time, many times. Uh, Miss Rose, what do you think in regard to this topic of after you have seen the images from Eastern Equatoria in Magui? I believe the in Lokoya there were a number of clashes and there were a lot of fights, but it was not on the media. It was just because Lokoya people don't really like to bombard people with. They are very calm people, I believe. That's how Lokoyas are. There were issues all around, and then now it's in the issue Agoro, Magui, and Lulubo areas. And we have recently also learned, as I indicated earlier, in Lanya, there is a Mondari issue and a number of things. This is uh, very complicated when we come to the situation in South Sudan. Of course, we are a very young nation. We need to grow. We need to be together. We fought for that, and blood have been shed because of that. And we don't want to go to that history. But what would you advise the president if you are in that in the position of being an advisor of the president of the republic? What would you say to him? What would you advise Mr. Kir how to resolve this situation of kettles in the country?
And thank you, Samuel. And also, I would like to wish and thank my colleagues here on the show and the audience watching. So I am Rose Carlo, actually, from Australia, based in Australia. So happy Easter to all of you guys. If you can hear the noise and you can see, I came to my friend's place now. I'm in her room. So don't mind the ambience and everything. It's Easter, guys. South Sudanese style. So we are partying. But I thought that, I should take some time and just come and, show my face and share a little bit of my views. So your question is good. But before I go to answer your question, I just want to say that, when I was growing back then in Juba, I think we have our neighbors who are Choli and stuff. And I went to Magui, actually. I went to Magui. I went to Agoro. I went to Obo. And my sister's married to actually. So it's kind of a very sensitive topic, and it's a topic close to my heart, and it's very sad. Sometimes, like most of the time, when people don't share their views, not that they don't want to talk or they are not impacted or anything, but because what is happening in South Sudan is really too much. We especially in diaspora, we hope, like, expected that with our access, or what is it called? I can't remember even. With the peace implementation and stuff, and the cattle issue has become even more than war that we have fought. It has become a national security threat to a lot of people, especially those people who are vulnerable. I know the cattle herders, they have guns, and the others don't have gun, or they are not allowed to have guns, and that's the problem. Like, I think and anything. I remember someone said that we are not in South Sudan. But anything that is happening in South Sudan, our root is there, our blood is there. We are strongly connected there. All our life is everything we do is about South Sudan. So we have been impacted with this. I think it's hard to see things on the social media, on media and stuff, just to share, like, our communities in diaspora are suffering because of these things. So here for us in Brisbane, we were getting a step ahead. Now this thing has come. More of our communities are going to be divided and stuff with all these things. This really needs serious. It needs serious attention. That's what I can say. Like this issue of cattle headers is I think it should go now before the peace implementation, because like all my colleagues have said that this is not a new issue, and this is an old issue. So my suggestion, if you are asking, is for our president or our government to learn from other countries, to see and check, like consult with we have a lot of experts in the diaspora everywhere, and even the neighboring countries. I think all of them have cattle, isn't it? Most of them, like Nigeria. Anyway, the same issue is happening in Nigeria actually. Similar issues. So I think Africa in general need to look into this issue, because kettles are important, people are important, agriculture is important, because like now, instead of us progressing, this is taking us way back to zero. How long will we be dependent, like on people in diaspora, on foreign aid, on NGOs, on many things? And yeah, for me, I think this is the most pressing issue currently that need really serious attention. I hope that answer your question.
Yeah, I believe, I don't know, Samuel is somewhere is the house has just disappeared. I don't know, for some
Ah,
reason. Yeah. Anyway.
someone.
Yeah.
Uh,
Okay.
I
Yeah.
I'm around Lojing. They
Okay.
saw the Rose. I thank you so much for sharing your views. That's one of the things we probably can take a look at as South Sudanese. The situation in the country is a little bit a little bit different. I could say that a little bit different because of uh, where we are brought or where we come from. We have various tribes in South Sudan. We are brought in different ethnicities within the country. So the way we look at ourselves, the way we behave, the way we act is always reflect back to where we came from. That's a psychological point of, or social or psychological point of view, which we can understand here. Uh, uh, the, 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 the technical problem uh, is how to handle this situation of kettles. Kettles are very important to the economy of South Sudan, as many of you, I think Lojing mentioned that. And cattle are is not the issue. The issue is who is taking this cattle, taking care of this cattle. So how can we educate these people and then give some portion of land so that they can, this cattle can be in a certain place within the country, so that they can don't bother the farmers, they don't bother individuals in different regions. And, of course, we have the issue of flooding. That's another excuse that can come up every time, and then we have the issues of a number of issues that can be aired. We can argue, we can we can do anything. I can stand on any side of the aisle. I can be a Denka, I can be a Nuer, I can be an Equatorian. in this, and then I will argue based on my philosophy of Equatoria. I will argue based on my philosophy of Dinkabur. I will argue based on the philosophy of all this. Thank you for sharing that. Lojing, let me come back to you. And
Okay, good.
Rose,
Hey, can I just? I'm going to excuse myself, guys.
yeah, please,
I
please, yes.
Oh,
It's
okay.
a holiday, and then you are at a party, and I'm sorry I interrupted your party, but I think we made a mistake. Next time, don't do that.
me or you? At
I
least
think
I'm coming to support you. Now you're blaming me. Okay, you know me.
I'm very happy Easter.
Guys,
thank you
Happy.
for your support.
the ladies are already they are complaining too much and stuff. So
Okay, okay. You need to go. You need to go. I will be here with Mr. Lojing
yeah.
briefly, and then we will end it. Please, thank you so much.
Okay, thank you. You can release me now.
You are released. Thank you. God bless you.
Mhm. Yeah. So you want
Okay,
me to?
Mr. Lojing, we come back to the point. The issue of cattle herders in South Sudan is very tense. That some people might look at it differently, but based on our understanding from the sources on the social network and other sources back home, it is not something very easy. I was listening to Bishop, one of the bishops in South Sudan. I don't want to mention his name. And I was listening to some of the chiefs, the chief of Achole and the chief of Lokoy speaking in Gumbo. And they will air some views that I think blame a little bit the government for not intervening to resolve the situation. I don't want to point a finger to the government, but always the government is like a father. You know, a family. In a family, there is a dad. In 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 a country, the father is the president of the country and all the cabinets, and then the parliament. So I want you to share your views because a country is very important to every person in South Sudan. We don't need to talk about tribalism here. Every person in South Sudan have every person born in South Sudan, whether even not a South Sudanese, they have a right in the country because they were born there. They have that they probably grew there for a little bit or so. What would you, if you are in that position of the president, how would you tackle this situation? I come here from a different question earlier. How would you tackle this kind of situation?
Yeah. Actually, Mr. Samuel, as you have just mentioned, it is so unfortunate, to see, these cattle herders really ransacking, the PT farmers from their way of survival. You see, there are two solutions here. If we have really a country, that have institutions, this thing can be resolved. There are two solutions. There's a political solution and there's a scientific solution. Scientific solution is to teach these people how to exercise a modern farming system, so they can benefit even from from the herds of cattle they have in their control. They should be they should be trained, and everybody will be specified a place that this will be your farm or your band in which you keep your cattle there. These cattle will be healthier. They will produce quality meat, and they can produce quality milk, which they will benefit more than just keeping those cattle for traditional marriages. You see, so this is a solution. A scientific approach is the first thing, and it is the government to intervene and then let these people understand how to organize their farms. And then the second solution, which is the basic solution, is a political solution. You see, the government should have a security system, and then if you own a herd from 25 herds of cattle, you should be given a license, and then you should be regulated. This is the regulations here. In order for you, to how are you going to handle? You should not let your cattle to go to somebody else's farm. You see, for grazing, for example. If your neighbor having like a agricultural, like a farm, like a corn farm or a sorghum farm, you cannot let your cattle to go there and graze. These are the rules and the regulations that the government has to give you. And if you cannot abide with those rules, then you have to lose your license. And then all your herds of cattle have to be taken to the market for auction. You have to sell them out because now you don't have a license, to run that type of business because you are not observing the rules that the government has provided. This is how a country can do, and this is how everybody in the world is doing this. In America, if you steal like somebody's cow, you're going to spend like 40 years in prison. It's like you kill a human being. But in South Sudan, it's the opposite. You see, the cattle herders can kill human beings, like the images that we have seen, and then they just they get away with it. There's no punishment. They get away with it, and then like when I hear that they said, okay, now we're gonna let these people go back to their places of origin, and please let these people come peacefully, So like as if they have done no harm, So that's really unfortunate. Somebody who has already, committed crimes like raping, killing women, just to be exited, just to go free, he's gonna come back because there's no punishment right there. So the role of the government is like the government in South Sudan. I can just say South Sudan is an anarchy. You see, there is no system there because a government is in charge of all the citizens of the country. I make a social contract. This is in politics. You see, like the John Locke said, this is what the system in America say. I have to make a natural, a social contract between me and the government because we emerge from the natural system. We emerge from the law, the state of nature, where there's no government and everybody the boss of his own. He's a security of his own, and he's a health grant of his own. He's everything of his own. But now we have to go to a different setting. We give a certain group of people to be in control. They should have institutions like government, like military, like police, like the security system, so they can punish whoever want to go and hijack somebody else's properties. This is a social contract between us and the government. We give you that we give you that right so that you protect us. But what is happening in South Sudan is a total anarchy. We're just back to the state of nature, the Neolithic era, where everybody defends himself. And like when you hear when the president went to Bor and he spoke, to the people there, telling that whoever, the army that I have is protecting me. And then whoever failed to protect himself is up to him, because the few soldiers I have are going to protect me. So what type of this is he already officially admitted that this country is just an anarchy. You see, there's no government here. Everybody has to protect himself, and everybody have to feed himself. You see, it is really so unfortunate. You see, the only advice I can give to this government, to Salva Kiir, is just to resign, please. Leave South Sudanese alone. Let the South Sudanese come and build this country. Because you have been here just, You have been in control since 2005, 2011, and we have seen nothing, only killing, you know, and then, looting of properties, corruption, you know, a bunch of stuff. The agreements that you are signing, you are not even abiding with the rules of the agreement that you are signing. You are not able to create the national army. You create your own militia. Well, is that a country? No, totally no. This is the best piece of advice is to let Salva Kiir please exit. You know, exit the power and let the people of South Sudan govern themselves. This issue of cattle is easy to be handled if there is really a government that is elected by the people, with the parliament, with the judiciary, and then with the executive. These are institutions that have to work independently and check each other. This is how the countries govern themselves. But what is now happening in South Sudan is totally unacceptable. And if it is continue, that is a total collapse because every tribe is going to arm itself, to defend its own people. Like what is happening now, like in our area of Lokoya. We are not in the government. We are just people depending on our land, and we're just farming, and we don't violate somebody else's property. If somebody else is just bringing his cattle to come and just graze on my own farm, how can I feed my children? You see, this is really, I don't know, even, really just intuitively, how can you do something like that? How can you just go and harm somebody who has done nothing to you? You see,
All right, Mr. Lojing.
the government to exit, or else this country is waging a bloody battle in Juba where a lot of people will die. And to prevent that from happening, let Salva Kiir please exit and let the people of South Sudan come and how to reorganize this country again, because it's sort of in a total collapse. Thank you. This is what I can say to you.
All right, thank you, Mr. Lojing. And I would like also to thank my previous guests, Ms. Ruski and Ms. Naponi Joyce. They were here with us, but they are having, it's Easter, and there are responsibilities in life. So we have to try uh, to, to take care of everything we are doing in life. So I really appreciate that you guys showed up tonight, this morning in USA, tonight somewhere. We will have a lot of discussion on these issues in South Sudan. The show is called The Future of South Sudan. So we will have every Sunday, we will come up with a number of topics, and then we will discuss here. One of the topics next weekend will be Juba Arabic. Juba Arabic. I will be here on the show with Rombek Logwaron and possibly a number of people. Please join us next Sunday at 8 a.m. Central Daytime in US and Canada, 3 p.m. in South Sudan and Australia in the evening times, as today. Mr. Lojing, thank you so much. And our viewers, thank you for taking a time to be with us. Please share this discussion. Let South Sudanese know the views of others, and let us be very, very involved in the issues concerning our country. It is a country that belongs to us. Everybody in South Sudan have shared a very, very rigorous effort to fight the Islamic regime in the north. And we are very proud that we are a country, and let us not spoil this privilege given to us by God. I believe God is the one that initiated this project long time ago, and now we are a country, and let us be civil, let us share our ideas, let us be democratic, let us accept the criticism of others, and move forward with the country uh, intact. Let us not divide South Sudan, is my opinion. You
All right.
know,
Thank you for now. I have to exit. Okay.
yes. So please, thank you. Join us here on Sunday. Next Sunday, we will have Juba Arabic discussion. That will be dealing with the language in South Sudan. South Sudan don't have a language. We do
Okay.
have English as an official language, but we don't have a national language. So we are
Okay.
going to talk about that. We will have some very, very, very dreamers, dreamers. There are people who dream about the future of the country. So I will invite some of the dreamers to talk about this situation. All right. May God bless you. Thanks for joining us. Thank you. See you next Sunday, the same time, 8, between 8 and 9 US and